Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to another episode of Faith Walk Podcast with your favorite girl, Lady Garrison. Hello, how are we doing today? Today is another Motivational Monday, and today's episode of Motivational Monday, you know how we do it. We're going to motivate you and encourage you on your life journey. We know that this journey called life has its challenges, its ups and its downs. Therefore, we make it our point of duty to encourage you every Monday as we do it on Motivational Monday. So, as we always do, how are we doing? And when we say how are we doing on this podcast as you're listening, I want you to take a moment to reflect and answer the question, how are you doing? Yes, I am doing okay. I am blessed. I am highly favored. I walk by faith and not by sight, hence Faith Walk Podcast. So I'm encouraging you all to walk by faith, not by sight, as always. But something that I'm going to talk about today is really self-doubt. Sometimes we're on a path of success, but the doubts that we have in ourselves can be so overpowering that we tend to give up. And as I encourage you today, not to give up on not only your dreams, but your day-to-day activities and life growth. Such as, don't give up reading. Don't give up going to the movies. Don't give up going to the spa. Don't give up doing your favorite thing, because it can take so much away from you when you give up the little things that you really enjoy doing. I know sometimes life can throw stuff at you and you really are faced with obstacles such as finances, time, and other little factors that will say you need to give up this. On the other hand, sometimes we are growing out of certain spaces and certain area of our lives that we need to give up stuff as well. But we really need to look and define between both, if we are giving it up for a positive reason or for a negative reason. Self-doubt can come in so many different forms, where you're procrastinating, you're saying that something good is happening in your life and you're wondering to yourself, do I deserve this? Don't you for a second ever think that you don't deserve something good. The moment you realize that you're doubting yourself to say you don't deserve that, you'll know that something is wrong. You need to get rid of that thought immediately. Always embrace the good things that comes in your life with open arms, without any sense of questioning and doubt. Why do we often feel or have self-doubt? We often wonder. Self-doubt can feel like a heavy cloud hanging over us, casting shadows on our abilities and dreams, of course, because that is something that want to hold us back. It's just a little voice in our heads that says you are not good enough, or what if you fail? But I would say to all our listeners today, here's the thing. Even the most successful people have battled self-doubt. The key is what we do with it. Self-doubt can be a little negative. Let me just not say that. Not that little negative. Self-doubt is definitely negative, but we can put some positive to it. As we often say, when our negative thoughts come upon us, we should always try to counteract it with a positive thought. Now let's explore some common triggers of self-doubt. It can stem from comparisons to others, fear, and that's another killer, fear. Fear is something that has so many tiny prongs that if you're not careful, the tiniest of fears can lead to so much more complications in your entire life. That's why the Most High says, fear not. And the only person you should fear, or the only thing you should fear, is Him. So, fear of failure, or even past experiences that have shaken our confidence. And a lot of us, even myself, I'm just building back my confidence, because sometimes when we are on our healing journey and we've been through so much traumas, so much situations, it really shaked our confidence. And for us to really come back from that, it takes time, it takes effort, and it takes a lot of work. So you always have to make sure that if your confidence, if you're not feeling like you have a lot of confidence, then you always have to build it back. Right? So if your confidence is shaking any at all, you really need to heal from it and regain your confidence and start again. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to look at social media and feel inadequate. Like everyone is validating themselves based on what they see online. That's another thing that really triggers self-doubt. But we must always remember everyone has their struggles. And I was saying to myself this morning that taking care of my baby, that's my baby, for those who don't know, when we're not doing this, I am a newborn care specialist. So I was taking care of the baby, and the baby was a little cranky. And I was saying to myself, this is this child experiencing their own problems. So from you came from your mother's womb, I said to myself, you start having issues. You're not perfect, because you're happy you're there and you start getting frustrated for whatever reason there is. That's your little problem. So everyone has their own struggles, even the baby. Can you imagine that? So don't feel like you're the only person struggling with this specific thing, or you're the only person struggling at all. Even if they don't show it publicly, you don't have to worry about it. Everyone is going through their own thing. So how do we combat these feelings? Here are a few strategies to help turn down that inner critique and turn up your confidence. So the first thing we're going to look at today is recognize and acknowledge. The first step is to acknowledge when you are feeling self-doubt. And don't lie to yourself. Don't be in denial. We really need to face these things head on so we can really come up with a solution for them. It's okay to feel this way. Recognizing these feelings can help you separate them from reality. Sometimes it's all in our head, and I learned that daily. Sometimes our thoughts are just where it lies in our heads, and it's not true. It is far, far from the truth. Nevertheless, it has such a big impact on our physical life and our life in general. Can you imagine? You just think about something and it has so much impact on your life. Your mind is so powerful. Our minds are so, so powerful. Again, for the second thing, it says challenge negative thoughts. And we just talk about this also. Counteract it with a positive thought. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Always think to separate the fact from the fiction. Is this thought true? Look for evidence that contradicts your self-doubt more often than not. You will find you have the skills and experience to rise above it by counteracting your negative thoughts with a positive thought. It always works. So if you think of anything negative, counteract it with a positive. If you think, I'm going to try this business, but nobody will buy it, I'm going to start selling soap, but nobody will buy it. Always counteract that thought with, I'm going to start selling soap that people will buy. Or I'm going to write this book, but nobody will read it. Counteract that thought. I'm going to write the best selling book there is. My book is going to be the bestseller. Readers need to read this book. Number 3 says set realistic goals. Break your goals into small, achievable steps. Celebrate those small wins. They will remind you of your capabilities and help build your confidence over time. Sometimes we set so much unrealistic goal. We wonder to ourselves, why am I not achieving my goals? And let us ask this question to all our listeners first of all. It is March. It is the 3rd month of the year. And let me not say the time is flying. It is already the 3rd month of the year. The month is already a quarter. How are we doing with those goals? Because I know, I know for some reason it is tradition where we tend to want to set these goals. But at the end of each year, for this year, I want a new home, I want a new car, I want a better job, I want to make more money, I want to start a family, I want to travel. Whatever the goals are, we set them. It's now the 3rd month in the year. How are we doing with those goals so far? I know it's challenging, right? But nevertheless, we are clearing self-doubt today. And although it is the 3rd month in the year, listen, we are giving you the opportunity to start or continue. To start or continue on this Motivational Monday. We are motivating you to start your goals or continue. It is the 3rd month of the year. Don't give up. We are vanishing that self-doubt. We are getting rid of it. We are interacting it with positive thoughts. This is your here. Guys, you're listening to your favorite girl, Lady Guys. We walk by faith and not by sight. I'm an author of children books. And when we're not promoting those books, we're educating, empowering, and motivating somebody. Now, the 4th thing says surround yourself with positivity. It can't be better than that. You gotta surround yourself with all the positivity in the world. Be as positive as you can be and see how your life can be transformed. I always tell this story about a young miss I met back in 2023, and I am always a negative person. And she stopped me one day and she said, why are you so negative? And I said, I don't know. Back then struggling with my anxiety, struggling with thinking positive at all. Never didn't know where it was coming from. All that, I had a heavy load carrying each day. My anxiety was weighing tons. Hence, I was always negative. And she said to me, from now on, you are no longer negative Nancy, but you're positive Patsy. And whenever our conversation would arise, and we used to talk daily then, and I say anything negative, she say, remember, you're not negative Nancy, you're positive Patsy. So I want everyone who is listening to me now, you're no longer negative Nancy, you're all positive Patsies. I know for some male, positive Patsy might not be a name that fits you. I'm sorry. But you're all positive Paul. So for my ladies, you are positive Patsy. And for my males, you're positive Paul. Surround yourself with supportive people who uplift you. Their encouragement can serve as a reminder of your strengths and capabilities when self doubt creeps in. We need that. Like, we need that level of support, especially from persons who we hold dear to us. And one of the things that really affect us is when we are trying so hard to accomplish our goals and persons in our lives who we think are so, what we hold so high and so dear to us, don't give us the support that we think they should. And not everyone has the strength to really overcome it, to say, you should always be your strongest supporter. That also can lead to self-doubt. When we see the ones that are around us not supporting our goals and our vision, can really lead to self-doubt, because if they're doubting us, they're not believing in us. What does that say? And that leaves us with a lot of questions. Maybe we are not capable enough to do what we say we want to do. Maybe we are trying to go, our goals are too high. Maybe we need to lower the standards a little. All these negative thoughts come up just by having the wrong persons around you, or expecting your circle to really support you the way you think they should. Practice self-compassion also. Be kind to yourself. And comes back to what we were just saying. Be kind to yourself. So even when persons around you are not supporting you the way that you think they should, be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace and accept them, but know that you have your eye on your goals and you're going to be your biggest supporter in that moment. Use them as your motivators in a way that I am going to show you that I can do it and I will do it. And a lot of persons get their motivation from this. The persons closest to them doubt them, talk down on them, and it builds up their confidence so much to say, I will show you that I can do it, with or without you. So it has its negative, but it also has a positive. What the enemy make out for bad, God turn it around for good, right? Instead of criticizing your mistakes, acknowledge that everyone falters, learn from your mistakes, and move on. We always say failure doesn't mean final. Acknowledge that everyone falters. There is no perfect person. Learn from your mistakes and move on. Now, let's take a moment to reflect. Think about a time when self-doubt held you back. What would you do differently now? By shifting your mindset and using these tools, you can turn self-doubt into self-awareness. Remember, self-awareness allows you to recognize your doubts, strategize your moments of uncertainty, and transform them into growth opportunities. As we wrap up today's episode, remember this: self-doubt doesn't define you, guys. It's a challenge you can overcome. So let's take this week to build our faith and confidence. Know that you are capable of amazing things. I can't say this enough. Thank you for joining me on this Motivational Monday. If you found value in today's episode, please share it with your friends and family and leave a review, guys. It helps others find our community. Until next time, keep walking in faith and confidence. And we always say you're vibing with your girl, Lady Garrison, where we walk by faith and not by sight. I'm an author of children's books. And when we are not promoting those books, we're educating, empowering, and motivating somebody. See you tomorrow and Testimonial Tuesdays. Walk good on our Motivational Mondays.